Okay, here we go. AirPods Pro 2. Okay. How about now? It looks good on OBS, so. Okay, dude. This is pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty cool. Let me text Jordan. Um, I don't know how the image looks. Moving around looks good. I know. I don't know how to do that. I think what I do is I do Mac. I do an audio capture, but I have to do it for an application, and then I choose Discord. Okay, that worked. Um, now try speaking.
Talk.
It did something. I saw something. I have to lower you a little. Try again.
Yeah, yeah, I could hear myself.
Dude, let's be good, dude. Let's go. This is so cool. This is so cool. That was actually not that hard to do. Um, hold on. Okay, I asked her to go and see if it works. Um, this is awesome,
Okay.
Paul. We could record games in
Yeah,
tabletop
I know.
that we play, and then we can send them to people, or we could just record them and have them for fun. This is so cool. I'm so excited, and my AirPods work. That's awesome.
I had an idea, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this, which is like make an entire game
Oh,
while
from
streaming it. Like in other words,
ah,
stream the entire process of making a game.
dude,
I don't
I'm
think I've ever
telling
seen
you,
anybody do that.
you should do that 100%. I'm telling you, I think it's really important, not just like not as an end, right? Not like recording yourself to record yourself to, get views or money or whatever, but recording yourself as a means of getting more opportunity. Like if you do that and other people see that you do that, or someone likes what you do, the right person likes what you do, like just having that as a way to showcase what you do, I think is really beneficial. For example, I as a writer even need a social media presence because my what I'm part of my service, my craft is myself. For better or worse, people are connected to their art. And so if someone wants to hire a writer and they don't find any info of them online, or they find bad info of them online, like it kind of doesn't matter. I said this the other day, like you being proficient in a craft is a necessary thing, right? If you want to be a good artist or something, you need to work on it. You need to study. If you want to be a good guitarist, you got to practice. You got to learn the scales, all the basics and the fundamentals, right? If you want to write a good movie, you have to, in some way, you gotta study movies, and you gotta know techniques for screenwriting. But that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't correlate to success, right? So you could be talentless and not work hard and still be successful. Um, Even if those things that help you become successful, don't exist, or you need them, right? In some way to start, or you want, as an artist, you want them. Um, why did I start talking about this? Oh yeah,
You're
the
trying to
social media.
convince me to stream making a game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, or at least in any capacity, like a log, if you rate or record, a little bit of your process, or even if you stream it, this is what you could really do. you could stream it, and then you could take sections of it, right, of your process, and then you talk about it, right? You speak over it in like short videos or even short form videos, like minute, 2 minute long videos, and then or like 15-minute long videos, whatever you want to do. As like a an easier way for people to get into you, what you're doing, a more accessible way rather than watching a live stream. Like for example, this is a silly example, but Tyler One, right? I don't watch his live streams during the pandemic. I did, when I had infinite time, but I don't watch his live streams. They're too, he does it when he wants to, or NL, right, is the same way. Like he's just doing it when he's used to it, but that doesn't always fit with me. If they only streamed, I would have never watched them. I would have never I wouldn't be watching them now. But because they take that streaming content or someone else that they hire, whatever it is, take that streaming content and put it in another platform that's slightly more accessible, then people like me can enjoy it, And they're doing it for entertainment and stuff like that. That's their livelihood. Um, but nonetheless, it's just a way to get more people into you, and a pretty easy way, I think. And in OBS, for example, I'm not recording right now, but I could just press a button to start a recording, and it'll save that recording in a location that I set on my computer, and then
Yeah,
I can
yeah. I
just
mean,
I
I
can yeah.
when I made all the videos, for a simple ball game, that's what I used. I used
Okay,
OBS.
that's cool.
It's the best way to record your screen, I think,
Hmm.
for free.
Yeah. Sorry, I made a sandwich, and the bread that I got, I like sourdough, right? But the bread that I got at Trader Joe's doesn't exist in Boston, or at least I've never seen it there. Um, it's it's wider instead. It's not quite as long, but it's wider, and the slices are a little bit thicker. It is so good. It is like unbelievably good. It's the same price as back in Boston, and I made a little. Um, I toasted it, made a sandwich and toasted it, and the bread is so crispy. Like, can you hear this? I don't know if you can hear that.
No, I mean,
It's
I'm
like the
like,
it's the perfect crunch. Might be a little hard.
I mean, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Might cut up my gums. Okay, I'm gonna try switching to my headset in a moment here. I think the audio will be a lot better. Or I want to see if the audio is a lot better. I gotta see if there's a way to. There probably is, like, mute myself easily as well from OBS. Okay, I need my case.
And while you're doing that, explain to me what this the
Can you hear me now? On the live stream, can you hear me? Maybe. I see I see it working on OBS. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, the audio is way more sensitive with my headset. You could probably hear outside noise. Okay, it's picking up something when I'm not talking. I could just lower the Hello, 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 hello. I'm also speaking softly because my roommates are still in their bedrooms. They are not morning people. They're not morning people in the slightest. Yeah. Oh yeah, the deck. Okay, so it's it's not a bracket one deck, but um it's like in spirit a bracket one deck. So my so the goal is to make it good and strong, and it's not meant to be played in paper necessarily. So expensive cards are fine, which is why there are like fetch there's a fetch land in there and things like that. But because this is theoretically if Matthew ever plays with us on tabletop, here this deck is for him, and it's based on his board game, the board game that he loves. So Woodland Critters. No, I know what. Well, so okay, so I had they were dude. I had over 200 cards in here when I first started, just because I went to the Bloomborough set and I was typing in mechanics of the board game and things like that. Because it's also a card game, Everdell. It's a board game, but it's a card game with resources. So it's more like Catan. There's a board, but it's not the the a part of. It's not an as necessary of a part of the gameplay. The board is only useful for the resources. You use Meeple, to gain certain resource types or whatever, and then you play your cards from your hand or from the board that you draw, and that's how you win the game is with those cards. Um, oh, Jordan just joined. Can you hear us, Jordan? Text me if you can hear me. Uh, what am I trying to say? So, um, so the important part for me is like some cards are in here to be like to be mechanically similar to cards in the board game in Everdell. Other cards are in here to take advantage of those cards and the theming, which is no humans, basically just animals. Um, okay, Jordan, you can hear me. Nice, sweet. This is cool. So Jordan is hanging. Oh, there she is. She's in the chat. This is awesome. Anyway, so for example, um, there are there are four creatures that you can play as for Meeple. It's a four-player game, and those are squirrels, mice, hedgehogs, and turtles. So finding some of those creature types in Magic and putting them in there, and then trying to find synergies in those creature types, and they're using mechanics from Bloomborough that are similar, like gifting. There's a lot of gift stuff in the board game where it says like give an opponent this resource and you get to draw cards or something like that. Um, so so using that mechanic worked out really well. Food also is kind of like there are a lot of woodland creature types in Magic that care about food. So and food is also kind of like the resources that you collect, berries, allow you to play creatures, for example, in the board game. You also need like rocks, twigs, and resin, but that's not as easy to translate. So using food to get benefits, and then trying to synergize off of food, finding cards like Trail of Crumbs, or what other ones in here that have you sacrifice stuff? I don't remember. Someone cares about foods too, like Ragos. This guy's crazy, um, or just fun. Caring about foods. The Goose Mother is a squirrel that gives your foods activated abilities of cards that it exiles or something like that. Um, Mirkwood bats is in here. There are bats in the game. So it's like what I see as building up in Everdell, building up your board of critters and your town and collecting resources is like playing a bunch of permanents, right? And in the game, because over the course of Everdell, right, you're gaining access to more cards and more things to play cards and stuff like that. And so in Magic, having a ton of stuff is like winning the game because you need a ton of stuff to win the game in Everdell. So foods, tokens, buffing those tokens with counters, things like that. Um, so there's a ton of shit like that in here. And then the creature types. Valley Mike Caller cares about certain creature types. Phineas, the rabbits. Uh, uh, Tarantusk is a Universes Beyond card, but there are spiders and stuff in the game, um, kind of. So I didn't want it to be Spider Ham Peter Porker, so I was just like, let's just do the other one. Uh, and then I have some shapeshifters for that reason as well, like Valley Quest Caller, Rot Caller. Balin cares about tokens. Um, uh, Camellia, the Seed Miser, lets you use foods to buff tokens. Cares about creature types. Some changelings that do stuff. Honored Dray Leader cares about foods. Um, Mirrored Entity is a creature type thing. Uh, yeah. Get rid of. Oh, yeah, like lower the number of non creatures. Oh, yeah. So on the left here. So there are two things that I want. I want so, non creatures. Well, maybe it's easier to look at it like this. Yeah, I totally agree. Creatures are the most important. But right now I have 13 sorceries, 9 artifacts, 11 enchantments, and 6 instants. Which, even though we're 18 cards over, is a lot. It's a decent number. Um, so I thought maybe one card that benefited something from non-creatures could work. And there in Everdell there are constructions, like there are like buildings that you build and stuff like that. So having some artifacts and enchantments in there makes sense. I just didn't want all three of these. I really only wanted one. There's like a tiny legendary creature. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. I mean the coruscation mage, more than anything, is just kind of like it creates I mean, they all do something. They synergize in some way with other things. I guess actually, except for artist's talent, it just might be the best of the three. Um, like creating a token is beneficial, and then dealing damage. Like this is definitely a combat focused deck that goes wide and tries to go fast. So maybe that's beneficial. Probably not, especially if we're getting rid of more stuff. But I thought one of these I think would have a place, and because Everdell is built around a tree. The like narrative of the game is these all these woodland critters are crowding around, like their city is built in a giant tree called the Ever Tree. And so there's some tree themed stuff in here. And for the commander, I knew I needed it to be 5 colors because of the Everdell theme, which is, mechanics and the deck functioning is really important, but they can't break, some of the what's the right word? What is the right word? Like the theming. There's a better word than theming, but the fantasy of the deck. I don't want it to break that. So for Essica, I thought Essica was perfect for 2 reasons. One, she's 5 colors. I don't really the prismatic bridge doesn't really matter, but two, she's kind of like you playing Everdell. She's the god, right, of the world, and so you are the player playing all these woodland creatures, trying to win the game. It's maybe a little cheesy, but it works perfectly. And she helps you mana fix, and she cares about legendary creatures a little bit. And in Everdell there are unique critters and common critters, as well as for constructions. And unique ones you can only have one of on your in your town at one time. So it's very similar mechanically to legendary creatures. And those critters are often much better, similar to Magic. And so there's like a small legendary creature theme, like a Flowering of the White Tree. I think is good in this deck because it's cheap and buffs all of your creatures, which you'll have a ton of, including tokens. And it's a tree, right, which is also in the theme. But it also cares about, gives legendary creatures a much larger buff, which there should be many of. So for the non-creature stuff, like okay, this guy's probably shouldn't be in the running. Okay, because I know I want either artist talent, because making non-creatures cost 1 less is really good. I think maybe it's not worth 5, but I think Bria is probably the best of these two because it cares about other creatures and dealing combat damage, and it's a legendary creature, and it is a woodland critter and everything like that. Like prowess, I think is good enough for me caring about non-creature stuff because I think you'll like if you're ramping like there's also too much ramp. I need to choose some of the ramp to get rid of. Um, I think it's all really good, but oh my god, what just happened? The whole thing shifted. Maybe board. I see. Okay. All right. Um let me figure out how to mute myself so I can. Okay, that makes sense. So you can. I was talking, you couldn't hear me, right? Well, there's so much food stuff in this deck. Like being with creative food or sacrifice food. Like I was trying to find more uses for sacrificing foods because I thought he would get a ton. That's the only reason I put Ragost in there. So it was a good use of all the little tokens.
hybridization creates a frog lizard, which are the two of the some of the main creature types. So it does fit very well. But Path to Exile is just so like you can do so many things with it. You know, if one of the tokens is useless, you can ramp yourself. It's really efficient removal. It's just a good card. I mean, there's not. There isn't a lot of. Hmm.
It's hard for me to do this because I don't know,
What?
like this goes beyond just like deck building, you know what I mean? And it's like you have a theme that you want to play.
Yeah. Well, from a deck building standpoint, from a theme standpoint, all of these cards fit. So, I mean, more or less. I mean, maybe like one of the ramp cards feels like 3 visits. I don't. That doesn't really fit. Charitable Levy is kind of. But so from a theme standpoint, everything is pretty good. So from a deck standpoint, from a that's what I need. You know, that's what I think the where the cutting will come in.
I have one recommendation.
Okay, what's that? Okay, I put a lot of work into that this morning. What?
There are a lot of
I have everything
I
that
didn't know there's a ton of green.
I have everything that's a forest. Every multi.
Yeah, there's a lot of green in this one.
Yeah, there's a ton of green and a lot of the ramp.
Mostly green white.
Yeah, the 3 visits, nature's lore, even Farseek to some or like they get forests specifically. Um,
Yeah, okay, so I get that. But there are some monocolored lands and some colorless lands. I don't know. I would probably not. I don't know if you can really run cards like that in a five-color deck super successfully. I mean, you can play them.
I mean, it's like really, yeah. I mean, a lot of the colors outside of white and green are feel like splashes. I mean, there are some edge cases like Zinnia and Arthur are both blue red and white. Um, but other than that, every or I guess Bria if she stays, but everything else is includes white or green, or Ren I guess is blue black. But I don't know.
Oh, there are hands. There are combinations of these land types
Hmm. I
where
see what you
you
mean.
wouldn't be able to play most of the cards in the deck.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like if you did like three lands and you get like a fountain court, maybe you get like one green land and then you get like a fountain court and a lily pad village or something like I
Hmm.
don't know.
I kept the villages for the theme.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say like there's the theme and then there's maybe the deck or there's maybe there's like
Yeah.
figuring out whatever the best 100 cards of these 118 cards are.
Well, the 3 tree city is in there for theme too, but I don't think it's really that good. I'm fine with cutting that one for another multicolored land. I should rephrase that. I think 3 tree city is a great card. I just don't think it's amazing in this deck because we have so many different types rather than one or two.
I
Yeah.
got that too. It's kind of like the triboard deck,
Yeah.
but it's not quite the same. You have mostly different.
So okay, we'll cut 3 trees. The world tree is already in there, so I'll cut that. Um,
I mean, there's a lot of things you could do, like, because if you have like peerless recycling, I mean, you could say like Balaged retiring stuff, for example, instead of that, and then you can make
mm,
more land, but it doesn't fit your theme.
yeah.
I don't know what you want me to do.
No, I mean you're already helpful. Being helpful.
Because I don't really want to do too many of the theme stuff. That's the problem.
Well, all of the cards are in the theme. The only thing is like adding cards that aren't in the theme would be hard to do. Like I'm trying to cut stuff, um, rather than add things. If you know what I mean. Like lands, whatever, that kind of doesn't matter as much. Like insects aren't really in the game, but Swarm Yard I think is still in the team. It's like Balaged, I don't know. Because it has that sorcery front half. Yeah, I mean I see what you mean. But I also think Peerless Recycling is a good card. And it fits the theme really well. You know what? I want to show you this. Did have this card in here for a while, but I tossed it eventually. Dewdrop Cure. Where is it? Put in the maybe word. Um,
Yeah, I mean, this is a good card. But in Commander, there's better alternatives to that.
okay. Well, Peerless Recycling is similar, but it costs one less, and you can get anything. So that's why I was like, that's just a better version. It's instant. Peerless is instant speed, so I cut it. I'm also fine with cutting Cultivate. Like, I think it's good ramp, but it's probably not as good as Harrow. It's close to as good as Harrow. But we have so
Two
many.
mana ramp cards are like that's
Yeah,
where you want to be.
yeah.
I mean, this is probably a good dowsing deck, and you pick some you want.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not like I had another equipment in here, but I cut it because it's just not. There's nothing like that. There's no translation to the board game.
Gotcha.
Like the fact that Dowsing Dagger becomes a land is pretty cool. Like there's probably something of all cards. You got rid of Carrot Cake? Oh no, you put it in the board. Dude, this card is awesome.
I gotta gain something.
I mean, I think it fits so well.
I'm avoiding the creatures so I can do everything else.
There are a lot of creatures that could probably be removed.
Dude, you need mirror form for this deck. You gotta have mirror.
Dude, I don't think it. I don't think it fits.
What? It would make everything one creature type, and it would of whatever the best creature of that type that you got.
Wait, what?
It would make all your tokens become a copy of whatever the best, you know, thing you got. So you can make it all like you could pick. I don't know.
there's anything I would want to pick. Valley Quest Caller, I guess. But that just
You can't do you can't do legends in this
Valley
format.
Rot Caller maybe. You attack and win. But it's kind of that's
Yeah, we could do that. I'll just put it there.
Scurry Squirrels. Yeah, I don't really think it.
Uniform is like that different than this card, right? They're like kind of similar.
Season of Weaving? No. Artifact or creature you control create a token that's a copy of it. I mean, I think returning each non-land non-token permanent is also really good. I think all the modality of that one kind of makes it better than Mirror Form for this deck. I mean, Mirror Form is a better card, but uh, there's not a lot you want to copy.
Like tokens.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It might be better instead of some
Generous gift is probably what I would put in there.
yeah, you could do that. You could create more creatures. That might be a better card for you. You're like a bear. What's the deck for that?
Hmm.
Oh,
I had generous gift in here for a little while, but I cut it. I don't remember why.
I mean, you could play it instead of Path to Exile.
You think it's better?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, it gives really good permanent.
Yeah, but could help ramp you.
Path to Exile is good, but
Doesn't destroy. It doesn't exile.
I think giving somebody a 3/3 is better than giving them a land.
Yeah, I agree.
Not better for you. Like if you Path to Exile your own token or whatever, um, like that is good.
I'm.
They're both good.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna cut mirror
I
form.
agree with the tokens because like two
It's a
tokens.
good idea, but I mean, even the tokens, like, I don't know what you would want to copy reasonably.
I mean, you can copy your opponent's stuff too.
That's true. It's interesting. I kind of did that already. Like there were more otters and lizards and stuff. I think I, I don't know if there's I think it's a good strategy. Um
Well, you only have one lizard.
yeah, but it's a I mean, it's because the card is really good.
Yes.
Yeah, what's her name? Mabel. Mabel is mostly for the legendary synergy, the equipment and the changelings. Buffs the and Masquid Nexus is in the deck to help a little bit with that. Smooth it out a little bit. But if you don't think I think she's a fine maybe board card.
I mean, I don't know. None of these cards are like particularly bad. I think it's up
Okay.
to the last five cards. Well, actually, you don't need to do anything for that card though. It's fine.
Wait, which one?
To put it back, so six.
Which one?
He's gonna leave him.
Oh, I see.
How many rats do you have?
I've Ren, which creates a ton, but I just have I just have
Like four rats.
oh wraths. That was tricky for me because it doesn't fit the theme at all. Any board, right? But there you need some, right?
These cards in here.
Yeah, those were the only two that I thought really kind of worked. I maybe the one that gets kills non-token creatures. That one also might be fine. I just wouldn't know what to
Yeah, that would be.
yeah. Um, I just wouldn't know.
These are good too.
Yeah,
Doesn't really matter. I mean, you could get rid of a. You could do Ombu Inversion, I guess. That's a lot.
yeah. I'm gonna toss Balliget Recovery. I know it's a good card. I I don't know. I'd rather like
Play 37 lands.
okay. Well, I'd rather lands that come in untapped too, if possible, or have the ability to come in untapped.
Well, you're playing five colors. That's not
I
too bad.
I know I know, but I was thinking like, what about not fast lands, but the verges? Like, hold on, let me look.
Well, play another fetch land.
Yeah, but those don't. I mean, just find the shock land, I guess. But
Well, the fetch lands are really good because you can get the triumph with the fetch lands. Like really, that's like your starting point, which is like all the fetch lands and all the triumphs. That's
yeah,
a really good place to start.
I agree. I mean, I
You get rid of the ones that are in like colors that don't really work super well for you, but it's like
this is not gonna.
the fetch lands can get so many different colors. Like every fetch land is a five-color land, basically.
Yeah, as long as it is a forest. Um, I'm talking about uh, yeah, the verge lands. They are called verge lands. Shouldn't.
They have the basic land type.
That's true. That's not gonna do anything. But they all they care about is a basic land type, right? Or is it a basic land? Scryfall, what are you doing? Type.
You now have 58 defense.
Which one is that? The blue-green one? Yeah, but blue isn't a huge.
Yeah, but it's a five-color land. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's literally so you can get any color land that you need.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, I put the green white verge. Activate only if you control a forest or plains. That seems like good. Maybe that's the only one I'll put in there. Misty rainforest.
Are you gonna get rid of the fetch land?
No, no, I didn't get rid of any fetch lands. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, you put it in. I mean, the verges are okay, but I would maybe get rid of one of just the one color or colorless lands.
Hmm. I think the Shire is just. I mean, I guess it's better than Gingerbread Cabin. Like you would never search up Gingerbread Cabin. Um, unless you really needed a food. Because you're gonna have three or more forests. Every land that has basic land types is a forest. Fountainport, I think, is really strong. I think I don't I kind of don't want to get rid of the villages. I know those are like the easiest. Just get rid of all of them, but it's just they're part of the theme. I mean, I could get rid of. I could.
That's up to you. Like, what do you want to put? Are you saying you want to like prioritize the theme?
Yeah. I mean, I could get rid of the ones that sacrifice themselves. So I don't think those are as good. I don't think that. So that's black and white.
So then put it black and white because that's the important part.
Yeah. Okay, Mudflat Village is gone.
Okay. I could recommend more stuff maybe, but I think that's probably as far as I'm gonna be able to go. Now it's up to you to do the rest of it.
Um, I mean, I could get rid of Gingerbread Cabin. I don't. I think the Shire is good
You're
enough.
moving around.
No, no, no. I
How many
mean,
lands did you
no,
say?
no, no. I mean to you. There are 36 lands right now. I mean to buff up the land base is what I was talking about. I see 36.
I see 37. Oh, 36.
Yeah, I still see 36.
Okay, I see 36. Well, if you have room for biomes, X lands, I mean, you could just put the original duels in, right? Because they're not.
Yeah, I kind of. I know. Still feel weird about those. Even on tabletop, it's like they're like too good to use. I don't know.
Well,
Like I wouldn't put Black Lotus. Like I wouldn't put. Yeah, Black Lotus belongs in every single deck ever.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, but you know what I mean. That's it. It's like any card that is that good, you would just put. But
I mean, I think the X lands are better than other card players. Like I know the biomes are better than card play, but the
then
X lands might even be better than the original duels. I don't know. And then in the two color decks, I think the bounce lands are better. The lands that say like they come into play untapped as long as you have two of their opponents are basically the same card.
hmm
So they just go into play immediately. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter to me.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to avoid the situations where you have cards that you want to play and it's just blank that you can actually play basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it might be a good idea to like just start with like most of the triumphs, maybe 5, 6 or 1,
Hmm.
most of the best lands, and then kind of figure out what else you want to put in there after that. I mean, because you have an East Forest, like that's probably similar to this.
I mean, I still think there should be basics.
Yeah, you could have like one of each.
That's what I
Well,
had that originally.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, you have the lands that are the monocolor lands, so you can think about those as like replacing the basics. So as long as your ramp cards don't say, you have to search for a basic,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think they do. So I mean, I don't think any of us have basic, any of them say basic lands. So like you don't have to play the basics. There's no reason to. There's no like requirement to do it.
Ben is on here. Hey Ben. I sent in the link. Oh, there he is. Your voice is so soothing.
I was thinking about that too, actually.
Get Stevie and Kevin in here.
It's surprising the mic is on. That'd be like
Okay. Um, I don't know what other forest triumphs I need. Proving grounds, Zagoth. You really think those should all be in there?
I mean, I think those are the best answers, but
The thing I was worried about, maybe I shouldn't have been, which is part of why I made some of the decisions that I made, is that the mana base was too slow. Like I know what this ramp, it's like 2 mana ramp, but it is an aggro deck, and so starting out the first 2 turns playing tap lands is kind of not where you want to be.
I mean, you can not play the triumphs. You can only play like the most important ones, um, and then play City of Brass and the other one that his name escapes me. The Prismatic Vista.
Yeah, mana confluence.
Yeah, yeah. I guess there's like 3 of them. You can do like those things instead. I mean, it's a balancing act. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of that's I think the baseline like starting point. It's all the triumphs, all the tech lands, and then it's kind of like where you get rid of the stuff that you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. I mean, you do have a lot of 2 mana cards, which is cool,
Yeah.
but you also have a lot of ramp
Yeah.
at 2 mana, and I mean most of the time, even in aggro deck, I think you'd probably rather ramp them too than play like a creature.
Probably, yeah. Some of the creatures want other creatures to exist anywhere. I mean, Valley Mycaller, you want to play early, but like Jackrabbit, you don't. Phineas, you kind of don't. Um,
Jackrabbit, I would probably
Goose Mother, you don't.
Mana.
Right. Rot color, you don't.
So my last deck, I got it with I was playing like two type of decks,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say like 24 basic.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll put in. I think Prismatic Vista searches for basic. Um, I mean, Shocklands maybe are they probably cost less life, and they still can come in on tap.
With these duels, because you don't lose, you have more time to go into it.
I that's too. I feel like that's kind of lame. It's not as interesting or fun. One duel is enough.
One duel survives one turn.
Yeah, but it's like more of a gameplay experience. If everything's that easy, that's like one less thing you get to think about when you're playing. At least for me.
For brother, I just put Conquer, but
Okay, well I got them in there. I got the forest stuff in there.
I just mean like when I take Conquer to basic.
Mm-hmm. I have this one. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got the forest ones. I mean,
Yeah, my point is if you got basic, you don't lose as much because you like I'll prove you wrong.
Okay. I believe Prismatic Vista. Yeah, it is a basic. So
Because I would do three forests, and like one plains, and then fill in the blanks with other stuff.
you mean have a basic land of the other types?
No, just well you do that if you want to, but I just mean fill in other lands that cost multiple colors.
Hmm. I mean, basic lands are really good. They come in untapped. They give you the mana you want at any point in the game without costing anything but a land drop. So I don't want that. Like, I don't know. I think. I think maybe I'm thinking too much about this.
The reason why basic lands are worth like 20 cents
Yeah, for sure. I know.
is already crazy though.
Yeah.
Pure lands are worth like $10.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And it's partially because of, standard or whatever, but
Yeah, I wish there was a mana confluence that could tap for a colorless. I don't think that exists. Um, starting
I think starting town.
starting town is pretty close to that, yeah, but it doesn't. It only comes in untapped on the first 3 turns. That's why I put it in there. Um, I could put Prismatic Vista, but it only makes sense if I have one basic land of every type. Otherwise, it's not really like getting the exact land you want. It's just getting a forest or plains if you haven't drawn one.
So to be exact, I think it's Mystic Confluence. I don't know what it's called.
It's mana confluence. It's mana.
Mana
Yeah.
Confluence. Yeah, it's okay too. You could also put Ancient Tomb, I guess. I don't know how good that is.
Yeah, but also I don't think that's like getting to breaking the theme territories, in my opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
they have one for tree folk, not in it would yeah that would be in Lorwyn, so not the right creature types. I'm gonna add one more forest. Okay, I've got three more spots for lands. Paul, you should just choose. You choose which ones. I kind of don't think Gingerbread Cabin should be in here anymore then. I mean, I know I have a lot of forest types, and I will, but
Yeah, I don't think it should be added yet.
all right, you've got four spots. You choose.
Okay, so I think you have Woodland you have Windstep Keep, Green Verdant, Pathway, and yeah.
I'm gonna reorganize real quick. See, I'll look at something. Yeah, I create a lot of tokens. Create a lot of tokens. Work with backs probably. It's a mainstay here. Hmm. do you think about Arthur, the Marigold Knight?
I think it's pretty fun.
Okay. There needs to be at least one mouse anyway.
I played against it with like
Oh, that's cool.
it's not like super strong necessarily, but nor is it really in your colors. But
Yeah.
it's fun.
Well, it's either that or Mabel.
I'd be skeptical, Manaber.
Why is there an MDFC in there, Paul?
Event aware.
Okay, what's the MDFC? Revitalizing. What? Okay, it's not that. That's not bad. That's not bad.
That
I mean, if it's got the counter and everything, if it just has a human in there or an elf, but that's okay. So it's collected company, and that's good in there. Um, dude, five more. I don't know, man. I need help. I need like this card is bad kind of help.
well, I mean, none of them are necessarily bad. Just some of them are like harder to, you know, harder to cast, I guess.
Hmm.
Like, I don't really think Prosperous Bandit is particularly great.
Yeah, I felt similarly, but the Offspring one is pretty good. There aren't a lot of Offspring one, and Treasure is kind of like a resource thing that's meant to be like the game. But
Maybe Marigold. Maybe get rid of Marigold then.
you mean Arthur?
Yeah.
Yeah. There needs to be a mouse though. There are no mice. That's the problem. There needs to be
There's
one.
one, right?
Let's see. Nope. There needs to be a mouse. I guess it doesn't have to be those two. One of those two, but see, creature. What am I doing? Type creature. Or I could just type mouse. Heartfire Hero is a mouse, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Ember Heart Challenger.
Commander necessarily.
Ember Heart isn't bad. Manifold mouse. No, it targets a mouse, so. Raging Battle Mouse. Seedglaive Mentor I didn't think was. Yeah, I think it's fine, but I don't think it's good enough. Steelbird Champion. Any thoughts on these? You could look. You could see my stream too. I'm looking at.
I don't think most of them are like super great. They're not generic, you know, generic kind of creature type stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's part of why I thought.
They're super fast.
Yeah, I mean that's part of why I thought Mabel was a good inclusion. Is because in the case that all my Maskwood Nexus is out or the Changelings, like she buffs some people. It's not like it's never gonna happen. And she's a legendary creature, so she can tap for mana. She gets buffed by the White Tree, and she creates an equipment um, which is better to me, translates better than just like including equipment in the deck.
Yeah, I mean I can
Hmm.
put that sense.
And the equipment is pretty good. Vigilance, Trample, Haste, +1/+1. So if it's not any of the non-legendary mouse creatures, non-legendary mice, then it I think it would be Mabel. Because I mean Arthur's is fun, but I also don't think this is the deck for Arthur. Like, wouldn't you want to get you get like a giant creature, right? You don't want to get a
Yeah.
tender wild guide from that. So I'm fine with cutting Arthur. I think Mabel's got to be in there. That's the case.
We need three to get rid of 3 mana cards.
There's too many 3 mana.
I think like
26.
5 3 mana cards is probably the plan.
Hmm. Okay, then let's do mana value. 5 3 mana. Um, I think I think the Universes Beyond card should be in the deck. It's just too it does too much. It synergizes too well. I think it's got to be in there. You really don't think Fearless Recycling? I mean, Carrot Cake, I understand. It doesn't. It's like, I mean, 2 mana for two 1/1s.
It's really not good enough.
You think that's worse than Carrot Cake?
I think they're both not good. I mean, yeah, I guess Tempt with Bunnies.
Yeah, but Hop to It is more reliable than Tempt with Bunnies is. No, 3 mana, 3 1/1s. I guess it doesn't draw you a card. Tempt draws you a card. Yeah. Okay.
It is really fun.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys are looking forward to
Yeah.
Are you excited to play well, actually play Magic?
Yeah. I was hoping to do that with Josh today, but
I'm looking forward to it as well. But yeah,
yeah. Well, 16 includes the maybe board, so it's 13 actually in the main deck. Even though I think the boar needs to be in there, the spider boar.
yeah, I was number one too.
But so honestly, the reason I don't is because, yeah, it's a tree and everything, but it's because less because of the legendary creature thing, but 2 mana to buff all creatures +1/+1 or non-legendaries plus like tokens. I think that's pretty good. Maybe it's not like it does more than just that, which is why it's worth it. But all right, I'll. What do you mean? Drag does not support in this group? Okay. Yeah, we can put it in the maybe more. That's fine. Okay, 3 more cards. What do you think about Zinnia?
The colors are not great.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like a decent amount of 1/5 creatures, but I don't know how long they're going to be 1/5 creatures.
Well, it says base power. Base power one.
I think it's better as a commander than just like on
Just card in the deck. I mean, I think
on a deck.
I think Offspring is good. I think it's good, and a huge flyer's nice, but
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think you could play it.
Offspring doesn't work with legendaries. That's the only thing, unless they
Is that
enter.
not really a woodland creature?
Yeah, there is a bird that's a bard in Everdell, so it's like the creature type works really well. But beside that,
Gotcha.
I don't think that's necessary. And it doesn't look like a woodland creature, that's for sure.
Can you get rid of mirror entity?
Yeah, that also does. It just fits the, yeah, it fits the deck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move Zinnia and mirror entity. Maybe I don't need that much help with closing out games. I don't know.
I don't know. That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Alright, we only need to get rid of one card.
Mm. What do you think of communal brewing? I debated on this card a bit.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting.
Because you force the opponents to draw cards. So they don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But you just also can.
yeah. So you could put anywhere from 1 to 4 counters on it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of puts opponents at a
Hmm.
disadvantage.
Well, plus it does. No, it puts a counter on there if you choose no one. When it enters any number of opponents, each draw card put an ingredient counter on this. Then put an ingredient counter for each. Yeah. So it doesn't do. It never does nothing. Do you think Claim Jumper and Clifftop Lookout are fun? Are good enough? Chomping, chomping changeling too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to put that card in your deck.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Chatterfang is good. Caretaker's Talon is good. Beastmaster's Ascension is pretty crazy. Hmm. Maybe. I mean, I think Zoraline is pretty good, but uh,
I think it's good.
yeah. But maybe Prosperous
Maybe
Bandit.
Black, I guess.
Well, yeah. Mara, Moira, Midnight Snack. Just Midnight Snack just reliably creates food like every turn, because you're gonna want to attack all the time. or at least that's the goal. But that's kind of all it does. If we don't need it, if we're because we already got tossed, what Ragost and something else with food, gilded goose. Like we have a lot of food stuff still. I don't know. Maybe it's
You can get rid of that.
okay. Maybe board that one.
Save your mana.
Yeah. I
If you're doing like a ton of food stuff,
yeah.
just save your food. All right, well there you go.
Okay.
Good job.
Wow. It's legal. It's finally legal.
All right, well you got to try. You got like something to try out
Mhm.
at least.
Very cool. All right. 30. Yeah, that's 30 creatures. Well, kind of worked out. Let's see. No, 33 creatures. It's a good amount of sorceries. Okay.
Still a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Um. Thank you, Paul, for that help. Do you want to see? Can I show this to you? I might have to go on Mox Field. Does that mean I have to sign in? Yes. I don't remember my login. I have it on Brave browser. I don't know if you know that. Brave is really good. A really good browser. It has built-in.
Yeah.
It has built-in ad block, and it works so well. To be honest, kind of impressively well. Um. Okay, wait. Let me just switch my view here. Screen properties, window. I need brave. All the way to the top. Nice, that worked. Okay, can you see? Okay, so I have 162 cards, and I'm still adding a few more, but this one will be a lot easier to get rid of stuff for.
What identifies a problem?
Yeah, what did I just like? Well, when I do themes, I'm like, okay, well, I want something that, like for Everdell, like okay, I want mice. So I just find the cards that are like this card could work, this card could work, and then when I go back, I'm like, okay, I only need one of these, so let's cut. That's kind of how I work, but it does take longer. I should use maybe boards better or utilize that more because I don't really. I don't know if Mox Field.
Some, I think, I mean, I could give you the only thing I could do. I mean, everybody's different. Um, I mean, the way that I do it is like I always start with kind of the cards that are the core to whatever I'm doing.
Right.
I actually start with the lands first and installation. So
Okay.
I always figure out the lands, and I figure out the cards that are the core to what I'm doing. So, if I'm like, let's say I'm building, zombies, for example. I'm like, all right, what are the 20 zombies that are like the most important to what I want to do?
Mhm.
And you can take a, and it's, there's like a lot of directions you can go in, but for me, it's, very grave crawler based. So like, what are the 20 zombies that work the best with grave crawler stuff? Like playing from your graveyard and doing all that stuff. So then I do that, right? And then you add the support card, the generic kind of good in every deck that's running these two colors cards.
Hmm.
And then you have like, I don't know, like maybe you have 5 slots left over or something.
Okay.
Fancy additions.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, that seems pretty efficient. Um, I'll try to think about that more as a way to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
because I will say that way kind of
Yeah, like in doing these two decks, I like I didn't, I had to use Scryfall a lot to find things. Like if I were building a Doran deck or something, like that would be a lot easier to build, right? Um, or something like that. Well, I want to show you a few cards. One, the commander. This is the perfect commander. This is the best blueprints. You know, bracket one commander. It's just locking and unlocking doors. And Marina is kind of like Marion, Marigold, and it's got all five colors. It's perfect. So there are a few. Okay, doors. You mean in blueprints? Oh, there are 15 rooms, I think. Let's see. Um, I think let's do type room. 30. There are 30. There are 30, but there are just under 30 because some of these are alchemy cards. Hmm. Yeah, there aren't 20 that are really that playable. To be honest. It's these they're pretty slim pickings, even the ones that I have. There's under 30, because some of them are alchemy cards, like this one. Well, some of them don't do like wouldn't do anything for me, because the uh uh, so the rooms is a part of it for sure, definitely a big part of that theme. But creatures are not a part of the theme. Like I know I have creatures here, I'll have some creatures, but um, this is what I would call a more unnatural deck. So things that care way more about. Like I have a lot of these are all. You're probably wondering why I have so many charms and stuff. It's because they let you choose to choose three. So I'll want some of these. Not many of these. Probably like five of them, maybe six or something. So I'll definitely cut there. But winning will not happen through combat in this deck because that doesn't make any sense. It's not at all similar to Blueprint. So my thought was put in cards that say win the game on them, right? Like I have to do something and it lets me win the game. So Jace, Laboratory Maniac, um, Maze's End, or whatever. Uh, and there are a few interesting ones. 20 Toed Toad I think is in here as well. I put that in the. It's not, but it should be maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Having artifacts, controlling 20 more artifacts. That one I think is really good. Like Knuckles has that if you want 30. This is 20. Um, anyways, I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I have Coalition Victory in here. I think that also fits. I think I think Approach to the Second Sun is okay. I think it's not as quite as good. Yeah, yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, yeah. 15 gates. Right. That let you find gates. Yeah.
You put all the win conditions in your deck, you put the runes in your deck, and then you throw in the draw spells, and then you kind of figure out how many board wipes, removal, you know, to prevent myself from dying cards you need,
Yeah.
and you balance it out. And that sounds like kind of like what the deck could be.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're doing. You're talking about like kind of these incremental things that lead to a win
Yeah.
somehow. Like I get what you're going for.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Um, I just haven't gotten there yet. But the other thing is like, I agree with the board wipe sentiment. Mechanically, but like, how does it? I don't know how that fits into. I guess there's some stuff in blueprints that is similar to a board wipe. So maybe that's better than I think it is. But
And also, I think you maybe play tutors in the deck too, because that feels um, very much like on theme too.
okay, I see what you mean. Getting info. Let me write some of this down. So it's pretty close to putting everything in there that I wanted, but I didn't quite do everything. So let's see, tutors, board wipes. Um,
Most of the ways you win the game are going to be through drawing cards.
yeah,
So if you're doing a lot of that, you're not going to be doing a lot of on board stuff that's going to protect you from people attacking.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
So how have you figured out how to remedy that? Like you
Yeah.
can do it in a lot of ways. You don't have to do it with board wipes. You can do it with like ghostly prison, propaganda type stuff too.
Mhm.
Or just stuff that prevents your opponents from killing you, basically, or
Yeah.
drawing you, whatever, so that you can do your thing.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
I wouldn't worry too much about you know like I saw what's the card called? The 1 mana card that gets a counter every time you do a room or an
Yeah.
enchantment. You know, that's the 1 mana card.
Yeah, that's
I
optimistic.
wouldn't worry that card like that too much.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
If you're going for what you're going for.
Mhm.
I think the artifact might be something you drop too because that doesn't really work with the drawing kind of
Well,
plan.
yeah, but
What you prioritize, I guess.
theme. I'm prioritizing theme. Um,
But I mean, like, do you want to do the more draw-based combos or the more artifact-based combos? Because they're kind of like working against each other.
I don't know.
You can do both. It just means that you're only doing like one or the other.
Well, I think yeah, I understand. I mean, this deck isn't meant to be super powerful, but I there has to be a decent number of artifacts in this deck to translate to the items that you get. I haven't done that yet, but I want a sledgehammer and a shovel and a metal detector and things like that in the deck. And also the resources. That's why I put Academy Manufactor in there. It's like keys, coins, gems, the food, the steps you get. Like that. This to me is similar to that. These tokens and stuff.
Maybe artifacts are the better build
Hmm.
over because I mean you have two tokens,
Mm-hmm.
you got equipment. I don't know.
Put Bray in here.
I mean there are ways to do artifacts to draw your deck, and especially on
Yeah,
turn one.
yeah, yeah.
So there are ways to do that. So maybe you don't do like maybe you go more on the artifact side rather than the runes.
Yeah, this has to be the commander for the deck, like 100%. Uh,
It just feels weird to do artifacts with stuff like that.
yeah, I understand. Cares a lot about enchantments. I don't think there's another commander that fits as well as this one does.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is kind of a silly one. Alright.
I mean, any card that any legendary creature that has to do with like you do something and then you play a card. If you do that thing, probably is it.
What do you think about this guy?
Because in a way, like drawing a card is kind of like drafting a land. It's kind of the same
Yeah.
thing.
Well, it's like gaining clues and stuff like that, or like getting more information. That's kind of the similarity. Yeah, another. I mean,
I don't have anything off the top of my head that I
I almost thought of this for the
that
Everdell.
I think would be the
This card.
from that idea.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Oh, connection. I almost put this in for the Everdell. Uh, um, this guy lets you choose multiple. Like when you choose more, or you get extra effects. Because like the main themes for me are all pretty different. To be fair, that's the items, the equipment, I guess. Like the shovel, sledgehammer. Um, there's the rooms. There's the choosing, the drafting, choosing three, and then there's the um, winning the game with that through without combat. Those are like the four big themes of the deck.
Yeah,
I mean, Bray is pretty interesting for many reasons with those themes. She lets you choose one of three. She does artifact stuff, but um,
well, it makes sense to me that drawing is going to be the way you win the game. That makes sense to me.
okay.
I mean, there are cards that change drawing into like looking at the top whatever of the amount of cards. There are cards that do that.
Like Sylvan Library.
Yeah, or like um, I forget if it's ERU2 or something. I forget exactly what the name is, but there's a card that with a legendary creature. I
Mm.
just like stupidly draw stuff. Oh, there it is. Or here, yeah, right there.
Oh,
Gotcha.
if you draw exile the top two cards of your library instead, you may play those cards this turn. It's a spicy card.
So it's top two, not top three, but
It's an interesting idea.
I could also see like looking at the like cards that say look at the top card of your library or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably cool too.
Quantum Riddler could be in there.
Because like if you just want
Yeah, I mean,
the way that I'm coming at it is like you want to kind of as you're playing the deck, you want the gameplay of the deck to kind of match the gameplay of blueprints. Like
I
you want
see
it
what you
to
mean. I see what you mean. Yeah. I guess I wanna. That's a good question. I mean, I kind of want to mix, but I think I would want. I want more of the latter, but some of the former. Like
yeah, okay.
for example, like the Crown of Empires, Scepter of Empires, and Throne of Empires. Like if I completely removed all the artifact stuff, these would still be in the deck. Like this fits the game super well for reasons you don't understand yet. And so like they have to be here. If you're building a blueprints deck, these three cards would be in the deck 100%. Urza's Blueprints. I found this. It's not a good card, I don't think, but it's the only card that has blueprint in the name. Believe it or not. Yeah. Diary, where you write all your notes. Ransom note. Yeah, you don't know this. You kind of know this one, but not very well. Puzzle box. The Pip Boy is kind of like the security terminal in a way. Keys to the house. Luck bubble. Luck bubble head just lets you roll a dice, but I know it's probably gonna go. Same with Aether Rot page. Campsite, cuisine, quest for ancient secrets. Cases are in here. I don't know why. I forget why I put this one in here. Why did I do this? Gaining life, maybe? I don't know. This should be here. Life of, or maybe I wanted sagas in this one. I don't know. Security bypass, black market connections, some courts like the monarch. These are all cool court cards.
I kind of like coveted jewel,
Coveted jewels, pretty good.
or like just any of the moxes, I guess.
Mox,
Makes the most sense to play.
mox.
I think coveted jewel probably makes the most sense here.
Coveted jewel is good. Chrome mox, London mox, mox amber, mox diamond. Oh, I see. I could put like the moxes, like the serious ones. Opal.
Yeah, those are grand. I need like really nice
Hmm.
Ishamazu.
Coveted jewel I like. I don't even know. Oh, this will win the game.
Generic is good, but like kind of fit the game.
Yeah. Hold for questioning. Pair of dice lost. Like rolling the dice to get stuff back. I don't know. Fact or fiction is in here. Um. These are all. Are these all unstable experiment? Like the experiments. These are all choose cards. Momo's heist, dude. This card is fits so well. It fits so well. Like I knew I wanted some because uh I forget how much you know about this. Do you know of a heist and that happens in Blueprints?
A heist?
Yeah, I'll take that as a no.
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
Okay. There's a heist in this card. Like gaining control of an artifact, giving it haste, and then sacrificing it fits the heist that happens in Blueprints really well. Playing the heist. I also put Prisoner's Dilemma in here, just because I think it kind of is, it's interesting. Um, I put this card in here. I'm sure you were wondering. The only reason this card is in the deck is because it has 4 power and 6 toughness. Which there are many other cards that have that have that, But this is just like the one. This is kind of the only one that would fit. It's like just an artifact, dude. It's just like a statue, which there are many of in blueprints. Like all the other 4/6s were like legendary creatures or specific things, dinosaurs, stuff like that. I was like, no, none of this works. It's the only one.
I do admit that I think when you open the page, that's where my eyes go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, it's like the most. It's looks so weird compared to everything else. But that's like this should be in the deck. Keeper of keys, bringer of the blue dawn, blueprints. Um, there's another one in here, another bringer, but maybe I maybe I cut it. Charming prince, arcane investigator. You have to search the room. Sundial. You don't know of a sundial, but there's a sundial in the game. Um,
Like in the garden.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Okay.
yeah. SRAM. Why did I put SRAM in here? I think I put SRAM in here because he's like you draw whenever you cast a, an equipment or an aura. I don't know why I put him in here. Maybe it reminded me of Herbert for some reason. Charming scoundrel fits, but you don't know why. I'm gonna.
To me, it sounds like you're trying to max things.
I am. I definitely. I mean, in a lot of cases, like I want to find, but I think there are less cards in the deck that have names similar to. Like I'm picking them out specifically, right? Um, but there are like 15 cards that say,
You have like 19.
yeah, exactly. I There are 15 cards in here that say win the game. Like I'm only gonna need like four of them. Um, and look at all these. Like I'm gonna cut this. There are 35 instances that let me choose. Something. I'm gonna like 25 of them are gonna go away or more. Probably more. Some sorceries let me choose too. Those are gonna go away. Um, uh, I guess what I do, like what I did with the Everdell one, is I think I pick out all the cards that fit the theme, and then I try to find the win condition in those cards. Do you know what I mean? Like with Everdell, like I found all the right creature types and like the translating the mechanics and things like that. And then within those cards, I was like, okay, what are the synergies? Like how would this function? And I saw all the 1/1 counters and the food and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, then let me find the cards that help me put that together into a theme. Fear of Infinity, I think is okay. That's good. Thank you. I think Fear of Infinity is also perfect for the deck, and the reason is because it's the kind of a theme in blueprints. Like Tonda Ross has gone on record and said this that like not knowing how much further you have to play the game, like the expanding and contracting of your tasks and stuff like that, is a part of the theme, and that it seems like this puzzle is infinite and it never ends, and you don't know where the end is, and you're just going around in a circle, in a loop, in a spiral, trying to find an answer that you want, but it's never there. Like you're not going to find closure to the situation that you're presented, to your history. You're not going to find closure and stuff. And so Fear of Infinity, I think, is good in that way because it's like you're fearing that it's going to go on forever when you don't want it to. And also it works with rooms. It works with rooms, which is great. Master Thief.
Because I'm gonna mute myself for just a minute for this.
Okay. I mean, I think that's stock to researcher. The dancers was just the room thing. Like this probably shouldn't be in there. And Protector of the Crown also, I think so. It shouldn't be in the deck, I think, but it fits more so than just the monarch thing. Like he looks that guy with the golden armor and the red cape looks exactly like a figure in the Blueprints lore that we see a few times. He's an important figure, but not really for Simon, but for the history of the country that you're in, which is important to Simon. Uh, so I'm like, man, it looks exactly like him, and he protects the monarchy. I don't know. It's just it makes me want to keep it in there. And some of these monarch cards are really kind of really cool. Core of Ambition. Beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card, and if you're the monarch, it doubles those. Ardenvale lets you get a permanent with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard to your hand, but if you're the monarch, it goes to the battlefield. Lockthwain, I think you can play the top card of an opponent's library, and you can play it for free if you're the monarch. And this one lets you copy an enchantment or artifact, um, or create a token of it if you're the monarch. Those are all really like I think the courts are all really cool. There's a cycle of them. I think there are 2 for each monocolor, 2 courts for each color. I could get one of each to be like the what is it the like there's some countries in the game you figure out like some of the history of or the makeup of the other countries that exist in the world of Blueprints. It's a huge puzzle in the game, later in the game. It's kind of in the middle of the game. So one court for each color could represent that, but the other courts don't really fit. They either like deal damage or buff creatures or something like that. These were the only ones that I thought kind of fit. Court of Ambition kind of doesn't, I guess. Yeah, let me toss this. Leyline of the guild pack.
Changing the colors might also help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that'll happen naturally. Like when I go through all these charms, I'm like, okay, this one, not this one, not that one. Like, like I know blue is a main color, 100%. Blue is probably
Yeah,
the main color. Then I think black and red are also important. Secondary colors. I think white and green are the least important. Um, I think white is fine, but it's not like there are a decent number of white pips in here, but um, I don't think any of the synergy comes from white cards or my game plan.
well, it sounds like you also want to go the artifact direction, not the enchantment direction.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of these rooms are blue or involve blue. Some of them are green. Like I mean, green is a color of one of the green, red, blue. Um, those are like the room colors in Blueprints that translate. I mean, there are black rooms, but orange for hallways, yellow for shops. Like I guess that could maybe be planes, but it doesn't really fit. I think I would rather go artifact than enchantments, but I need rooms. I need like I definitely need some rooms.
That's what I'm trying to think. Maybe you should think about a different commander.
I just don't know a better commander that would fit this than this one.
Like somebody who's like Simon, who you could like
There's got to be 5 colors.
make a Simon or something.
Don't you think it needs to be 5 colors still?
Probably more.
There's this guy. His name is Simon.
Really?
Yeah,
Who's that?
it's from the D&D movie. He's blue too, which is funny. He just has nothing to do with. He has, I mean, he deals with instants and sorceries and rolling dice, but doesn't really fit. Maybe Joda, but then it's like legendary creatures. That doesn't. And they're just a bunch of beasts.
I think that figuring out what the deck is and figuring out the scheme of the deck and how you want to play. It's like that's the most important. You can kind of figure out the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
After that, if you want to stay with what you already have, we'll change it.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems kind of like the rooms are like um, they're kind of like a some like kind of like a side thing that you're doing
Mm-hmm.
next to the main thing that you want to do.
Yeah, because rooms are not gonna win me a game. Like,
Artifacts, I guess.
yeah, well that too. They're just rooms because it's like there's there's an aquarium there's tunnels. Let's see, salon. There's a meat. There's a locker. Uh, restricted office. You know, weight room, walk-in closet. Like I want all those names, right?
It's just I don't know if it's
Grand
almost
entryway.
want to almost even scale back the gameplay of the deck thing. I think keeping the rooms and artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd have to have some way of both of those things contributing to whatever it is you're trying to do, which is maybe possible, but
I don't know. I mean, this deck is more aligned with bracket one than the one I was making for Matthew. Like this is more of just theme over gameplay, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with. It's fun. It's like enjoyable to build it because of all the little quirky things, that fit the yeah. Oh man, it's already 3. Yeah, it's like 6 p.m. where you are, 6:15.
yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah. All right, we can go. I appreciate all the help.
Did it crash for you?
Yeah.
Was you probably at like noon, I guess.
Yeah, pretty close to it. Okay, so that's done.
You know who came to my house today?
Oh,
Zoe
what?
from Lower East Side. Yeah,
Okay.
I left my sunglasses in her car,
Oh, okay.
so she came. So she's driving back.
Oh, now, wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Long break.
yeah. I wonder what the deal with that was, but yeah.
Already.
We can, look, we can hang out more if you want. I mean, we'll definitely, when we're talking about the game, but
Well, you know what you should
we
do?
can do that.
Oh, I'm so. Oh, yeah, about the game. Well, sorry. You go ahead and finish, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying beyond that, um, like we can figure out something to do.
Mhm.
I think we could do volume two, but or whatever.
Mhm. Well, I I think it would be cool if you found a mod for tabletop for Magic. Either the one that Kevin has, or something. Um,
Yeah,
so we could potentially do that sometime without him needing him.
yeah, that's gonna take a few seconds.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about like
Yeah.
jumping into setting it up.
Well, I do have to do some things on my own, homework being the main one. So I think I might go now, and I guess if nothing is happening with me later, we can link up again.
Yeah, I mean, I meant just in general, but
Oh, sure.
I can figure it. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Cool. All right, Paul. Thanks again for all the help. I'm sure Matthew will enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what his issues. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop stream here. That was cool that we get to do that.